If you said to me we could only pick one letter, I would pick the letter G.
Do you think that people are sort of a product of, like, say, their upbringing? Do people kind of cap themselves at that level? Can I ask about the 11G? I'm curious
Sure.
about what that is.
So it doesn't exist. It's Jeff Wright's way of trying to explain to the world that I believe that there's greatness within all of us. I believe that. I believe we were born with it. Um, and I believe that, all of us grow up differently. I was very blessed to have great parents that, believed I could do anything, you know, in the world. But not everybody is blessed with that. Not everybody has that gift. And even with that blessing of great parents, um, there's still there's still this internal thing that we have to feel or understand. So the world says the world says that 10 is a measure of a top level. A gymnast, it's a perfect score. If on the scale of 0 to 10, where is your pain? If you walked on a beach and there's a good looking girl or good looking guy, she's a 10, he's a 10, whatever it might be. But I say, why, if we haven't maximized what we have inside of us, why is 10 the number? So 11 for me is just the recognition for the world and myself that we always have more. We always have more that we can achieve. The G part is, it's my favorite letter. And if you said to me we could only pick one letter, I would pick the letter G. And the reason I say that is that's the first letter of some of the most powerful and influential words that exist in our world. So G is God, and G is great, and G is gratitude, and G is grit, and certainly it's girl, guy, grandma, grandpa. So as you go across the spectrum, it's my trying to tell the world and give the world the fact that they've got another level. And I say that this greatness is within all of us, but I make it very clear, and this is a really important point, is I'm not talking about that if you and I wanted to play professional basketball and I'm a slow white guy that's 6'2", and I can't, I'm not going to be able, no matter what my desire is, I'm not going to be able to play professional basketball. But the greatness within is everyday life. So it's being the best husband, son, daughter, teammate, partner that you can be. And we're in control of being the best version of ourselves. And when we become the best version of ourselves and we recognize that, wow, this is really special, and we feel that way about ourselves, it allows us to go other levels personally and professionally. So it's just my number and my letter, but it's how I look at life and try to explain to others that no matter what, all of us have another level.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
I never
Yeah.
noticed that about G's, but that makes a lot of
Everyone
sense.
always has a favorite number. Never a favorite letter.
Yeah.
That's good. It's interesting. Yeah.
Do you think that I mean, I think this is sort of goes along what you just said. Like, do you think that people are sort of a product of, like, say, their upbringing? Like, if their parents reached, say, X level, X income, X, you know, um, career, yeah, education,
Education.
or whatever, however high they got in their career, like, do people kind of cap themselves at that level? Not even consciously. It's just like something that's sort of built into their wiring. It's like, oh, geez, my parents did this and it was great, but, like, I don't see myself going any further than that. They're not getting past 10.
Yeah, so I would answer and say that the science says, I don't say this, that by the time we're 5, our child tapes are made, like how we've been interacted with by our parents or environment or whatever it is. And that most people spend their whole life trying to adjust from that. So for me, I was always told I could do anything. I'll never forget. I was 10 years old, and my father and mother loved the sports world, and my mother took me. She had 5 kids in 8 years, my parents, and would take different kids on a mom, dad, individual kid date, whatever you want. And at 10 years old, my mother took me to a Mets game down in New York. And she saw behind home plate these empty seats. We were elevated a little bit, downstairs, but elevated. She said to me, I want you to go tell that usher that you'd like to bring your mother over and sit in those empty seats. And I said, Mom, what are you talking about? How can you do that? And she said, just go ahead and go over. And when you get there, just wave to me. Well, I went over and I said to the usher, excuse me, sir, but my mother wanted to know if we could come sit down here. It's just her and myself. And she asked me if you could just wave to her. And he said, go get your mother. Nobody's sitting here. You guys could sit here. And my mother said to me, if you never asked, you'll never have received that. You wouldn't know. My point to everybody is that our training, our education, our environment is critical to all of us. So my point is, I don't know the answer for everybody. I just know that if we provide an environment for our family, for our team, for our company that believes in the power of belief and helps to elevate people, I think people can change and can make a difference as long as they want to.
Yeah, that's great.
That's really powerful.
Well, thank you so much, Jeff. I want to be cognizant of your time. I really appreciate you coming on. If people want to learn more about you, and where can they find you and learn more about you, and we'll certainly link all the the podcast, your course, everything in the show notes. But if you want to give the listeners a quick glance of where they can find you, that'd be great.
Yeah. So if anybody is interested in the commercial real estate and the podcast and the High Risers Club, they just got to go to one place. And it's just coachjeffwright.com. And the website will, if they want the High Risers Club, they want the course, it's all there. And then if they want to listen to the podcast, all they got to do is go to Commercial Real Estate for Residential Realtors, and they'll find that.
Perfect.
There also.
Awesome.
Perfect. Well,
Good
thank you again. You've had tremendous success throughout your career, and I personally really enjoyed this episode with you and listening to what you have to share. It's a little different than real estate investing, but it all goes together. Whether you're a real estate investor or an entrepreneur in any fashion, any industry, I think there's so many key takeaways in this episode.
Yeah, it fascinates me how much we pull out of each guest.
I
I didn't think we were going to go here, but
Yeah.
it's just I got a lot of really good stuff from this.
Thank you again. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks so much for having me. And just don't forget, you guys are going to rock the world. Just find the passion stuff and stay on that path.
Awesome.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Pleasure.
Right.
Thank
Take care,
you, guys.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you for watching Sky's the Limit. We're always releasing new real estate content, so if there's something you want to hear, be sure to leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
And remember, sky's the limit, dive deep, and invest in how you want to live. See you in the next video.